as individual members of parliament, it is important that we say that from the very onset. And the views that we say here are our individual views. They do not represent the views of our respective political parties. We are young members of parliament who, I think for the last 1 or so year, you have seen we've been on the line defending the BBI, the handshake, the president, and Uhuru and Odinga, both in and out of parliament. Now, recent developments have come in which you've seen the deputy president and his brigade making a 360 degree, and they now want to support the handshake, but the manner in which they want to do it is the one that concerns us. You saw yesterday the deputy president in Embakasi. He wants to support the BBI. BBI, the progenitors are Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila. You cannot support the handshake and claim to be supporting your boss, and every day you are calling the partner Raila Odinga, you are calling him Muchawi, Muganga. Yesterday alikuwa namuita Nyapara. And then you have seen the kind of tension they are coming with. You do not come late into a train that has taken off and then come chest thumping and giving condition about how that train should be driven. Right now we have just seen in Mombasa, Jubilee allied members of parliament, Nyali MP and other people. So you can see the trend is that they are coming with some kind of confrontation. The intention is to incite, cause chaos, and therefore then say that there is intolerance and that BBI is not about inclusivity. So we are going to read a statement and then my colleagues are each going to speak. It is a statement by members of parliament on the decision by the deputy president and a section of members of Jubilee MPs to join the Building Bridges initiative, and part of that title then also says, before they do that, we demand an apology to the deputy president for having misled the republic and the nation for almost 1 year. Our attention has been drawn to recent remarks by the deputy president William Samoei Ruto, calling the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga Nyapara. I think that was yesterday in Embakasi. This is an unfortunate statement as it comes even as he and his Jubilee Tanga have done a 360 degree and blatantly come to the realization that they need to support the BBI. We want to remind the deputy president as they make their way to the BBI platform to please come slowly. Wakuje pole pole, taking into account that he has come late into the game when His Excellency the President and the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga have spent a whole year putting the building blocks and the structures that now they want to ride on. It is not possible, on the one hand, to claim to be supporting the president and BBI, while on the other hand calling the president's partner, who is the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, in the initiative, Muganga, Muchawi, Mutu wa propaganda, na Mutu wa vitendawili. Yesterday he added his Nyapara. As young members of parliament, whose duty it has been alongside other progressive members of the Jubilee to protect the president and the handshake, which has been ongoing in the period now intervening 2019 of March, from the attacks of the deputy president and a section of Jubilee in an attempt to pour vitriol, jibes on the BBI and its progenitors, namely Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. Having said that, we join all those, both in and out of Jubilee and the opposition, who have welcomed the deputy president and his delinquent and renegade win of Jubilee following their change of mind to now support the BBI. We use the words delinquent and renegade very advisedly. For how can you describe the deputy president who, one, week in, week out, has called meetings and used church forums in the president's own backyard, and whose sole agenda of this meeting has been to disparage BBI, the handshake, as a project meant to perpetuate dynasties and to create positions for a few individuals, namely the president and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Mr. Deputy President, Senator Murkomen, Moses Kuria, Dindi Nyoro, Kimani Ichungwa and the entire brigade, please confirm to the nation before you come to Mombasa tomorrow and to Tononoka that BBI is no longer meant to create positions for the president, for Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, and nor is it meant to perpetuate dynasties. Number 2, soon as the BBI regional conferences in Kisii and Kakamega kicked off, you, the deputy president, calling yourself the principal assistant to your boss, Uhuru Kenyatta, went on a campaign to brand the regional forums as unnecessary, a waste of taxpayers' money, and intended to perpetuate a 2022 agenda for some individuals. Read Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. You continued with this unfortunate chorus even after the president made it very clear that he had a full support of these forums, and even after the president gazetted the extension of the terms of the BBI task force. Mr. William Ruto, Murkomen, Moses Kuria, Kimani Ichung'wah, Rigathi Gachagua, and the entire brigade, please confirm to the nation before you attend Tononoka tomorrow that you no longer consider BBI regional meetings as a waste of taxpayers' money and intended to create and perpetuate corruption. I will now invite my colleague to read the rest of the statement, and then my colleagues will chip in before we take on questions.
Continuing from where Oloch has left, number 3, to be sure the Deputy President and his team still hold the view that the BBI is intended to prepare the way for an extension of the term of the President Uhuru Kenyatta in order to lay the ground for work of return of the President to government through the position of the Prime Minister. Mr. Deputy President, please confirm that you no longer hold the view that BBI has the hidden agenda of returning Uhuru Kenyatta as Prime Minister or extending his term of office. As we welcome you to the BBI fold, we demand that before you come to Mombasa with your team and before you address any issues touching on BBI, you must do the following. Tender and reserve apology with the President for the weeks and months in which you engage in 2022 campaign against your boss's wishes, and use these platforms to divide the nation and cause disaffection within the nation while disparaging the BBI. Number 2, we equally demand that before you and your team travel to Mombasa, and before you or any of them take up the platform at Tononoka, you apologize to the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga and his supporters for calling them names such as Muganga, Muchawi, Mutwa propaganda, etc., and for peddling falsehood and the propaganda regarding the BBI and allegation that is intended to assist Raila ascent to power. Lastly, after you apologize, we demand that you give an irrevocable undertaking to the people of Kenya to keep the peace, to maintain decorum, to measure your words, to respect the President and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, as well as governors and organizers of the event. In the event that the Deputy President and his team fails to do this, then we want to give him free advice that the BBI task force has publicly indicated that they will have several forums and avenues through which to engage the public and any other stakeholders, which includes the Deputy President and his Jubilee wings. The Deputy President is accordingly advised that if he cannot keep peace and maintain decorum, he is at liberty to draw up his national-wide BBI schedule, supply it to the BBI task force, and hold his own parallel meetings. We say this because we have accurate information and intelligence that the DP and his group have adopted a strategy to come to Tononoka rally to cause chaos, and it has actually begun in Mombasa this morning through provocations, and they use that as an excuse to state that the BBI forum is not open to Kenyans and it has a hidden agenda as well as practicing exclusion. This strategy will not work, as we wish to inform the DP that our people are ready. Finally, let the DP and his people be on notice that we will hold them accountable for any chaos, losses, or interruption made on this occasion tomorrow. I think, members, we are in a very unprecedented times where we've heard the people who have continuously castigated the BBI from the handshake up to this point, and the same team make a 360 turnaround to support it. Definitely, we've seen, this is not a beginning. We've seen our fears are emanating from what happened in Bomas. that in a gathering of very serious senior members of Republic, led by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, led by Judiciary, led by Parliament, all gathered in one accord in Bomas, one individual madman came up and started shouting and causing chaos all over. And this is a gathering of very sober people with decorum. So what about a public gathering in Mombasa? So we of course, it cannot go unchallenged that some of us actually demand that we do not include these people in our programs, because their intentions are clearly planned. Their intentions are not genuine. They have not supported this process before. They have actually opposed the use of the meeting of several leaders together, claiming that they are using public resources. And even in the book of John, I think 10 verse 10, where Jesus tried to distinguish himself from other leader, Satan, and he said that they have come to steal, to destroy, and to kill, but I have come so that they have life and have it abundantly. I'm not calling anybody a thief, but I think it is in the public domain when we use some of these statements that some people have come to kill, destroy, and steal the very good idea that the country wants to use it to move forward. So I'll give my colleagues a chance to speak, and then we'll also invite you if you have some questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I think my colleague have read what is in the statement. I think I want to start from where Mheshimiwa Loch said that these are our personal views. So one, for me, I want to begin. Yesterday I watched the desperate DP saying that in the unlikely event that he becomes president, there will be no corruption because there will be no idle cash. I want to completely agree with him that there will be no idle cash because he would have stolen all of it. But it's just that is not going to happen. But I want to say that our deputy president and the team that he leads of the Tanga wing have been actually consistently inconsistent in each and every move. And as they join BBI, a few things. They are joining just like any other ordinary member who will come into the BBI conference. They will not join with any condition. They will not join seeking to have certain preferences. Like I'm saying, they will join like any other ordinary member. This is a program that is being managed by the president and Raila Amolo Odinga. And I want to say my own personal view that the BBI will conclude, and we will, without a doubt, have a prime minister, we will have two deputies, we will have a president, we will have a deputy president. As they join, in my own view, from where I sit, I know who is going to be president, I know who is going to be the prime minister. They can look for the other positions, including the leader of official opposition. I leave it at that point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I support the statement by my fellow members of parliament that the deputy president and his Tanga team must apologize before they join us. They absconded. BBI committee was in Eldoret, was in Igishu. Tell me if Oscar Sudi attended that meeting. Tell me if Caleb Kositani attended that meeting. They were in all the counties in Rift Valley. None of these Tanga people attended. Even meetings in Central, they did not attend. After that, when the BBI report was launched in Bomas of Kenya, you saw they tried to mobilize as many of their Tanga people into that hall to come and create disturbances. It never worked. After that, you are all aware that they tried to bring BBI report in Parliament through that committee led by Honorable Kioni, until the Speaker said, no, this report has no legs to get to Parliament at this time. After that, they came out and said that they are ready for anything that BBI committee is going to recommend. That even if we recommend all manner of positions or whatever we recommend, they will sit back and wait for the report. When they started having their meetings, they had their meetings in Naivasha, they had their meetings in Embu, mobilizing people to reject BBI. We never made any noise to them. After that, when they realized that now we have started our meetings of taking the BBI report to the people in Kisii, they started making noise. Recently, I was one of the organizers of the Kakamega successful rally, BBI rally. And when we were doing that preparation for that meeting, they came out with all manner of things, saying that the BBI meeting was going to do this and this. Lastly, when they realized that the BBI meeting is not about what they had said, some of them joined us in the rally in Kakamega. Now, they have even said that BBI is about creating positions for dynasties. BBI is about Raila Odinga taking power. It is about bringing Uhuru back to power. Now, these are serious allegations which require an apology. Now that they are claiming to be supporting BBI, which we know they are not, inside their heart, they are thinking of introducing obstacles to defeat this process. We are saying before they come to Tononoka, they must give an apology to Kenyans, that they lied to Kenyans, made so many allegations against BBI, and now they have confirmed that actually BBI is good for this country, and they are ready to work with the other Kenyans. So we need an apology moving forward. Without an apology, they are not welcomed in Mombasa. And if I was one of the organizers of the Mombasa meeting, I should not give any of the Tanga people chance to address the meeting in Mombasa. Because we know what they want. They want to come and cause chaos in Mombasa so that they derail this process and derail the entire BBI, so that Kenyans do not have a chance to talk about reforms that they want. The electoral reforms, the constitutional reforms that we want to have in this country. So my short comment is that they are not welcomed in Mombasa without giving an apology to the country.
Okay, let me add one thing and then we do the questions. Okay, so I think we will end it at that and take questions. I think our position is very clear, and we are speaking again. I want to emphasize so that you do not misquote us. We are speaking in our individual capacity, and I want to re-emphasize that at the time when half of Jubilee did not give Uhuru Muigai a chance, or did not even want to think about the president as being the president, we are the people who stood in the gap, and as young people, week in, week out, we defended the president, and we will not allow, having defended the president for all this time, that people will come and begin to pour cold water into what we have been doing and spending a lot of time in the building blocks and the structures that have been put in place by the two heads. We do not want that to be soiled by people coming at the last minute with their demands. So we are speaking as our individual capacities as young members of parliament who stood and defended the president and the prime minister on the issue of the BBI. And we want the people of Coast Province, and I know His Excellency Governor Joho and the team there are equal to the task. I know for a fact that they are going to have a delegates conference today where in the Wananchi are going to give their views and they will be presented then tomorrow. We want them to insist that unless these people issue an apology, whoever is going to be the master of ceremony, if they come, let them sit wherever it is they are sitting as spectators.
The public.
To the public.
Yes.
You cannot disparage something for 1 year. Your boss is telling you, give me time. I want to spend time creating a legacy. Give me time to do Big Four agenda. Every single weekend, you are at the backyard of the person you're calling your boss, planning for 2022 and undoing what the president is doing in terms of building bridges. So irrespective of the positions that have been issued, we are saying they are welcome, but it is a conditional welcome. They must apologize. You cannot take the Kenyan citizens and the nation on a tangent for 1 year and then come at the last minute and then you want to come as if nothing has happened. We must and we demand that there must be an apology before they are welcome to this table. Questions?
Yes. Very well. Very captured various individuals saying that it's like whatever statements you made are individual. Yeah. But listening to you, you are all hawkish, giving ultimatums. You are not different from the persons you're trying to accuse here. It is about building. Do
you have a question or do you want to come and make a statement?
Building bridges or are you burning bridges?
Do you have a statement or do you want to come and read a statement?
The conditionalities you are giving, you are not different from the other parties you are accusing. You see also some words like you've talked about in your statements like delinquents and renegades. That's the political talk. Each camp. Why can't you tone down and address matters in BBI? Sharing positions. You are
do you want us to answer the question?
Talk about expanding the executive. The position is very clear that 22 is the maximum. Why aren't you in those BBI rallies talking things that are of benefit to Mwananchi instead? What comes out about sharing positions?
To be sure, we will not make any apologies about the demands that we have made. We have been on this for 1 year. If you have been in the media, you have been there, you have seen how much time we have taken to defend and fend off attacks on the president. It cannot be business as usual. There must be a price to a position that we take. If we take a position today and we mislead Kenyans, like we have been sitting here and 2 years down the line you come and say on this issue of the handshake you misled us, you will demand and Kenyans must demand that we apologize. On the issue of the language delinquent, I have checked the dictionary definition of the words delinquent. How else do you describe somebody whom when the president says this today, says the other tomorrow? It is not an abuse. A delinquent is somebody who exercises disobedience all the time. Disobedience of the person who is in hierarchy above you. That is the clear definition of somebody who is delinquent. I have no other language that I can use to describe it. Lastly, so that I give him.
Ni Kizungu tu.
Kizungu. And Kizungu, I am a student of literature. I studied Kizungu literature. There is nothing abusive about that. You may disagree with whether it is a strong language or weak language, but it is my description of the president and that group. They are delinquent. Within Jubilee, where there is a faction, one opposing what the president is saying, call it delinquent, whatever language, go and look in the Bible and find another good language and replace it with it, but it is still delinquent. Lastly, on the issue of the positions, there are many things in the BBI which I am sure, and I saw in the statement from the people in Coast Province, their focus is going to be on the issue of the youth. And for the youth, there are 4 key chapters for me that describe the position and place of the youth in BBI. Chapter 6, Chapter 7, Chapter 8, Chapter 9, and Chapter 10. In fact, there are 5 on the question of inclusivity. And we are asking the youth to take their place on the table to demand what opportunities are there for them to be put in terms of leadership, both horizontal and vertical. Not only the positions of Prime Minister, all positions, commissions, boards, chairman of whatever positions they are. The youth must occupy those positions on the table. On the issue of devolution, I am inviting the youth to find and to be on the table when the 35 minimum is being defined. We must come and ask that of that 35%, how much of that money is being set aside for youth programs, youth projects, youth empowerment and opportunities that will place the youth at advantage positions. There is the question of corruption. That gives the youth an opportunity, the entry point, to the extent